So let us study computer-aided process planning. Again, this is a part of the same. Still some are joining. And it will be asked as a short note for the 4 marks or for the 5 marks. Again, this is a repetitive questions and favorite question also. Computer-aided process planning, then CMM. uh, These are some repeated favorite questions. So as the name suggests, we are doing process planning with the help of the computers. And you know, all of you know what is process planning. Aditya Kamble is seen after a long time. Again, that Raj Bhosle is also missing. Today, both the Raj are not present. All right. So before computer-aided process planning, the trend was manual process planning, or it is also called as the traditional process plan. Traditional process planning means the process planning is done manually. Now, process planning is nothing but you are planning the process, that is how to manufacture the product right from the receipt of the raw material. So you have a raw material, you will be given drawing, design, and you will be given raw material. Or sometimes even the raw material is also decided by the process planning engineers, uh, how he wants. So definitely the raw material will depend upon the quantity. The very first question, suppose if somebody asks you, this is the drawing and how you will manufacture. So very first question that you must ask is the quantity, if it is not mentioned on the drawing. Hmm. Because your process will depend upon the quantity. If the quantity is one, then you can even go for rapid prototype. If the quantity is 1,000 pieces, then you will have to think of casting, forging, because for one piece you cannot go for casting, forging, or molding because you need to make the die. So die cost or mold cost will incur. So that is possibly that die cost or mold cost is possible only if the quantity is more. Mm. So manual process planning totally depends upon the experience of the engineer. Experience of the engineer. A fresher and an experienced engineer will give you two different process plan. Altogether, will give two different process plan. And obviously, experienced engineer can give a far better process plan than the fresh engineer. So what I'm trying to tell you that if we want something to be done independent of the skills of the peoples, then you'll have to go for the computer aided process planning. So in computer aided process planning, again there are two types. Again there are two types. One is in one we do that we feed the different process plans, and in another type we generate the process plan altogether from the scratch. So in the first, That is for the variant type process planning. Moment you give the drawing to the computer, it looks for the process plan, or it looks for the similar process plan. It is something like the you approach a police station or a CID, and you describe the how the criminal, the person was. So accordingly they will make the sketch, and then that sketch will be checked with the database, or the police, they take the fingerprints and they check with the database whether something is matching or not. So in the same way, in the similar way, the drawing which is given to the computer is checked with the available database whether the same drawing and same the process plan is available, or similar process plan is available. Similar means you need to do some modifications, some changes. Like say instead of diameter 20, like the drawing which you are given, in that diameter 20 is there, but you have a process plan for diameter 25. So same process plan can be used, only you have to change it from diameter 25 to diameter 20. So that is what is called the variant. And another is generative process plan may it generates right from the scratch. So in that case you have to feed lot of data, you have to feed the data of the machines, you have to feed the data of the tools, you have to feed the different algorithms. Then it collects all this data, uh, and it checks the current drawing which is fed to the computer, and it generates the new process plan. So that is what is called as the generative type process plan. Hmm. And obviously, computer-aided process plans are better than traditional process plan, because they are more accurate, fast, and independent of the skills of the engineer. You don't have to depend upon the experienced part. Once it is working properly. Hmm. So there are two types of computer aided process planning. Out of this is SIEM. SIEM means what? It has CAD, it has 2D, 3D, concurrent engineering, and it has computer aided manufacturing. Computer aided manufacturing is nothing but CNC, robotics, material handling. See, CAM, and most of the students they reply, give the answer that it is nothing. The CNC is just 15% of the CAM. The full form of CAM is computer aided manufacturing. Again, the students say that it is computer aided machining. No, no, no. It is computer aided manufacturing. It is not computer aided machining. Alright. Computer aided machining is a subset of computer aided manufacturing. The CNC will comprise only 10 to 15% of the CAM. The rest of the things are there, like robotics, then material handling, that is automated storage and retrieval system. That also we are going to see. Then just in time, then group technology, then flexible manufacturing system, then your quality management systems, which is not mentioned here. QMS is a part. QMS itself comprises around 25% of the CAM, quality management system. There's a lot of things to talk on CAM, and it's never ending. Lean manufacturing, agile manufacturing, all those things comes under your computer aided manufacturing. So now here, examination point of view, in under computer aided process planning, you must know what is variant type, and you must know what is generative type. So process planning is nothing but it's a recipe. It's a recipe which is available on the YouTubes. Nowadays, we see on the YouTubes, how and we try to make according to that. So same thing, it's a recipe or it's a algorithm, or some step-by-step instructions are given how to make a particular product, or how to make a biryani. So what is the recipe for the biryani? The same thing. Then it is, you can say fast food chain. So if the recipe is given or if the algorithm is given, then it is, you don't have to depend on the skills of the engineer, isn't it? You will get the same output. You are going to get a unique answer. You are going to get a unique process plan. Like you have a recipe, इतना ग्राम रॉ मटेरियल ले लो, इतना ग्राम हल्दी ले लो, इतना ग्राम मसाला डालो, इतना ग्राम नमक डालो. So finally the taste is going to be same. So same process planning is also same thing. Okay. Then we are not talking about the customization. Okay. We are talking about um, general, general process plans, which are based on the group technology, which also I will tell you what is group technology. Group technology मतलब क्या रहता है? We are grouping the products. Group technology, we are going to cover it in deep because that is again for the 4 marks. Group technology again for the 4 marks. So in group technology, what happens? We group the products based on the similarities. It's something like in your class, in the schools, like A division, all scholar, about 90%, B division, or some division subjects, like those who have taken French or those who have taken Sanskrit. So we are grouping the students, or sometimes, I don't know, but currently also, there are some divisions for the extremely intelligent students. So uh, it may be a batch of 20. So the teachers, they focus on that because they want to, improve the image of the school. So all, so they know that they will come in the boards. They are all going to be rankers. But since now the board has, they do not publish the list of the rankers, so this was little demotivating. But what I'm trying to tell that um, sometimes even in physical education also the teacher group according to the weight of the students, according to the height of the students. We have competitions also, many competitions, which depends on the way age, age group, that is say up to 10 years, 10 to 16, above 16. Wrestlings, it depends upon the weight. So what I'm trying to tell you, it's all group technology. We are all grouping. So same in engineering products also we group upon the similarity. That is a round component का एक group, then prismatic component का एक group. Prismatic means rectangular component which looks like a prism. So that is what is called as the group technology. Or um, we can group for the gears, that is straight with spur gear or helical gear or bevel gear. So this is helpful, this grouping is helpful to take the decision for manufacturing. So this will be helpful to take the decision for the manufacturing or for setting up. Or for setting up, like suppose if you have only small components, small components or lighter components, then what will be the layout? You don't have to invest on big cranes or lifting equipments, isn't it? Even you don't have to go for uh, a proper heavy duty conveyor system, because handling can be done easily manually on the pallets. Hmm. The lifting can be done again manually. But same, suppose if we have heavy products, the jobs which are heavy like big rolls, then definitely you have to go for electric overhead travels, EOT cranes or jeep cranes. And you should have a proper conveyors, heavy duty conveyors. So the group technology helps us to decide the layout also. And there are softwares which helps you to group the components, like all the round components or the components which are longer in length, you know where the L by D ratio is more than 6. And then according to the drawing what you fed, it compares uh, with the drawings which it has in the database, and it retrieves. And that's why sometimes the variant computer aided process planning is also called the retrieval type process planning. Retrieval type process planning. So what I'm trying to tell you that manufacturing environment, it is based on your products, and it is based on your group technology. Mm. So if it is a mass production, or if it is batch production, if it's production, so if it is like a mold shop, where uh, the weight of the mold basis or the mold plates is 500 kg or 1 ton. So altogether your setup becomes different. Or if it is very, if the products are very small, like say your watch, titan titan watch, mechanical watches, or the quartz watches. Now since the digital technology has come, the watch industries are totally ruined up, pura band ho gaya digital technology se. Rather now nobody wears the wristwatch. It is just like fashion only, because everybody has mobile. Even I also have stopped wearing wristwatch, because you have mobile, and every now it is there in front of us. We moment we open the eyes in the morning, first हम लोग मोबाइल का दर्शन लेते हैं, रात को सोने के टाइम भी मोबाइल का दर्शन लेके ही सोते हैं. So wristwatch is again outdated. This is what is your technology is. So what I trying to tell you, that if the components are very small, very small and tiny, like the component which are in wristwatches, then again the setup altogether different. So there you'll have very small machine. You won't imagine the lathe machines what you have for the small components. Those lathes are called the rabbit lathe. Rabbit matlab chua. Rabbit lathes. Or even desktop lathe, like your desktop computer, you have desktop lathes. Matlab the lathe machine which can be mounted on your table and you can work upon. You might have seen also, I'm not exaggerating, you might have seen, like you might have seen the key maker ka jo hai, it's a kind of a lathe machine, key maker ka. Small machines, even smaller than machines, means the machines are so small that you need to, even sparking machines, or even wire cut machine I'm talking about, like say the moment you say wire cut or moment you say sparking machine, the first name is Charmy. That is the brand, that is the name of the machine, Charmilus, Swiss machine, Charmy. Very small machine, that is if you want to work, you need to work with the microscope. You have to have lens, powerful lens, magnifying lens attached to your, eyes, and you can do the setting up of the electrode and setting up of the workpieces. Because most of the electronic industries components, the semiconductor components, are very small and tiny. Like doctors do the operations with the, you know, binoculars. So same. Similarly, the lathe machines are also so small, that you need to have, magnifying lenses, then only you can. So what I'm trying to tell, group technology helps you to decide this. Even heavy machine shop, heavy machine guy, you won't believe, but the tool posts are so big. Tool post, lathe machine I'm talking, for the roll machine, tool posts are so big. It will be around 5 feet by 5 feet. A person can slip on the tool post. इतना बड़ा tool post. Hmm. 30 feet long, 40 feet long, roll loads. You can see it in L&T. You can see in Air India. You can see in textile mills, repair shops. Hmm. Dombivli, Ambernath, MIDCs, they have all big heavy machine shops. So this is what is your group technology is. And the manufacturing environment will be mapped with the component, with the groups. So the definition is process planning can be defined as an act of preparing processing documentation for the manufacturing of a piece, part, or it can be a assembly also. Of course, we go for the detailed one and we don't go for the rough, because when we are using computers, obviously we'll expect a detailed computer aided process plan. Hmm. So this is the step-by-step operations in a simple part like this. Final, final this. Okay, this is a component to be produced. So and if the quantity is one, this all computer will ask, and computer will also take its own decisions, based on the algorithms which are fed. See, computer is not a magician. Understand? Please remember, computer is not a magician. Whatever data is input, whatever algorithm that we have fed, based on that it will generate the answers or solutions. Hmm. So if the quantity is one, definitely it will ask for the raw material. uh, that is a prismatic component. If the component is more, then it will give the options like whether you want to go for casting, you want to go for forging, you want to go for powder metallurgy, so and so. So again, various parameters are checked like finish, then accuracies, tolerances, lot of things. So the softwares are developed. It's an interdisciplinary approach. That is, engineers from all the branches: mechanical, electrical, computer, IT, uh, production. They all come sit together and develop the software. Mm. So this is what we need here. That selection of the initial block, that is raw material. Then we need to write a proper operation sequence. We'll be doing this in detail in process engineering, that is, and tooling PET, which you have in next semester, and which is untouched. There is no modification. Certain subjects as being core subjects, they are not modified even in the revised syllabus. So you need to decide machines, you need to decide the processes. Then you have surface finish and quality, tolerances, hardness, all these details you have in explicit condition. Explicit condition means which are available openly. So the root process plan will help to decide the root sheet. Like I told you, we QMS, in QMS or in quality management systems, or in one of the you know lean manufacturing technique, we have something called as the value stream mapping, a tool which is called as the value stream mapping. These are not big names. These are not big names. They are quite old, techniques. So value stream mapping may we take a west walk, uh, or we simply take a walk along with the material. That is right from the raw material till the finish. We keep on walking with the material. That is what is called as the west walk. Hmm. So route sheet is also same. That is, we decide the route, the best route. We decide the best route for how the material should flow. So here this is like material means this is uh, only I can understand this. This is raw material. Then this is milling machine number two. Then this is drilling machine, and then this is inspection. So this is what your process plan is. So milling machine it will take 5 minutes. Drilling machine may 4 minutes. Inspection may 1 minute. Route sheet is prepared by TC Chang and so on. Hmm. So this is what the details. You can just give one example in your answers if it is 5 marks questions. So how the process plan should be. So process plan should definitely will have the name of the company, your ABC International, then should have a part number, 8-digit code, then part name is housing, hmm, original, who is a generator, means who has made this process plan. Hmm. Earlier we used to write like this, process plan. We used to write manually. You know, I am talking about this 90s, 95s. We used to write manually up to 2000 views. Now we generate it in computers. But we need to write, we need to have a prints like this. और जो fresh engineers है उसको बोलने का और लिखने को बोलने का चलो we used to give them rough idea how it should be. Then freshers, GETs, etc. they used to fill this and they also used to enjoy it. So operation description, because they used to learn this. Then these are your operation number. So obviously first is you have to mill the bottom surface, because on which you are going to rest the components. Workstation is nothing but the machine. Hmm. Then setup. So this is like a postmortem. It gives you all, or it is also called the SOP in now new language. It is called as the SOP. Hmm. That is standard operating procedure. Earlier we used to call it the process plan. And one should not deviate from this. Then what tool you are going to use and how much time it will take. So everything is mentioned. And if you want to deviate from this, then you need to again fill the deviation form and ask for the deviation. Understand? So mill bottom surface, mill top surface, then mill side surfaces, and then drill four holes. So before drilling the four holes, you need to do side surface machining from the side, so at least two surfaces, because how will take the reference for drilling four holes. Drilling four holes, you need to have, let us suppose this is a component, a prismatic component. Imagine this is a prismatic component. So you have milled the bottom iska on which it is resting, then you have milled the top surface. Top surface has to be milled, because if it is rough and if you're trying to drill it, then drill may go cross or drill may break also because of the roughness. So you need to machine this. And you also need to machine at least two, these faces. Yeah, face A, face B, so that you can take reference from here. Because see, you have four holes or you have center hole, so you will have some dimensions, with respect to this space or this space. Or it's better that you finish this size, whatever it is, say 300 by 150, and then take reference, maybe center of this, and do the drilling. So this is called as the reference machining, or it is also called as the proof machining. It is also called as the proof machining. Proof. Normally, I don't check mobile. Some students they were waiting. So, what are the components of the process planning? So, you need to have, you need to select machining operations. Then you need to sequence them properly. Sequence is also important. Like as I told, like before drilling, you need to machine the top surface. Before you machine the top surface, you need to machine the bottom surface on which it is going to rest. So this is what is called the sequencing. Because if you drill the hole and then if you're trying to machine the four faces, then that might be difficult. That might be difficult with respect to four holes. So the easiest way is that you machine the bottom surface, keep it on that, machine the top surface, then machine the four surfaces, and then do the drilling. So this is what is called the sequencing of the machining operations. Then design of jigs and fixtures. So process engineer is a key person in manufacturing shop. I'm not talking about supply chain management, or I'm not talking about SAP or ERP. I'm talking about core, shop floor activities. Then again, the process planning will be different, in different environments. Like in tool room, it will be different. In metal forming, it will be different. In job shop type manufacturing, again, it will be different. In different. So it all depends upon the quantity and type of the product or type of the job. uh, Tool room generally it is tailor made, make part as per the drawing. So the quantity is generally one piece only. So here basically the quality and the tolerances is important. The cost is secondary. Cost is secondary. So that's why in tool room type of manufacturing, uh, the cost will be always high. Cost will be always high. But here Working in tool room is again very, uh, uh, learning type of experience, because here first thing is that every day it's a new jobs, new products. You keep on learning, and every hour you have to face the challenges, because every hour there will be some garbad, hmm, done by operator or done by the machine. So you are always on your toe. इधर बोलेगा कटर घुस गया, उधर बोलेगा सर मैंने ये देखा नहीं, तीसरा ऑपरेटर बोलेगा सर मेरे को ये समझ में नहीं आया, चौथा ऑपरेटर बोला कि मैंने तो ऐसा डेटा निकाला था कटर, I don't know how it has machined. Every hours something will always go, wrong. In spite of planning properly, because every time you are doing something new in tool room, every time you are doing something new, it's not a repetitive kind of, or it's not a established, or it's not a set. So you should be ready to take challenges. I have seen, like VIP का जो bags रहता है, which we are taking, suitcase, the big bags, almost, that I think around, yeah, maybe around 4 feet by 4 feet by 2 feet. इतना बड़ा bags. You can imagine made out of HDP, and you can imagine the mold. उसका mold कितना बड़ा रहेगा? Hmm? Mold कितना बड़ा रहेगा? Everything was, done. It was ready for dispatch, and just little, small changes was to be done. That small changes at the bottom of the cavity. Just the depth was not sufficient, and the depth was to be increased. Depth was to be increased by another 0.2 millimeter. And the operator had set, and all everybody was standing. अभी चलो फटाफट 0.2 डेप बढ़ाओ और हम लोग मोल्ड लेके जाएंगे प्रोडक्शन के लिए. ऐसे एक इंजेक्शन मोल्ड्स में कैसा रहता है, यू कैनॉट it is very difficult to get jobs done perfectly okay in first go, in first trial. It's very difficult. Hmm. Because still, in spite of having mold flow softwares, in spite of having modeling softwares, you do not get the correct size of the runner. Not get I don't know whether you understand this. You do not get the size of the runner or gate precisely. So you need to, and you don't know how the material will also behave. That there is something called as FEA or analysis, fluid mechanics involved in that, because there are a lot of temperatures involved, contractions, expansions, this corner, that corner, the behavior of the material will be different altogether. So only the god knows. Or you'll have to take trials, and in the trials you'll have to see how does how the behavior is, and accordingly you take the decisions to increase. So here now just it was to be increased by point 0.2. The gate size was to be increased by point 0.2, and Gadbadi mein operator forgot to take the offset on the CNC machine, Z offset, and he started the machine, and the cutter went inside, dash mar diya thoda, and by the time he pressed the emergency stop, the cutter already make a khadda of 1 mm. 1 mm khadda ho gaya by the time he pressed the emergency stop. See, this is what the mold. The mold price was 10 lakhs ka mold tha, about to dispatch, ready to dispatch. Hmm, was to be done. In production next day, damaged, totally damaged. Lead time was 3 months. So you should be ready for such challenges. What to do now? Hmm? You cannot You cannot put a insert in that, because if you put a insert again, the parting line, insert parting lines will be visible. You cannot weld it also, hmm, because that homogeneity is lost. That homogeneity is lost. That virginity of the material is lost. Moment you deposit something else, you cannot get homogeneous, or you cannot get the properties shown by the parent material. Very difficult. So only one solution is you again start from the beginning. You again start from the beginning. So lost. पूरा मोल्ड कैविटी वापस से बनाओ अगेन, एक महीना गया, पैसा तो गया प्लस time. So what I'm trying to tell you, the in tool room the parameters keeps on changing, and it's the most challenging, or I will say most dangerous. Even in the night also, the peoples will not allow you to sleep. साहब इधर आ जाओ, मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या हो गया, या इधर ऐसा हो गया, ये उल्टा हो गया, सुल्टा हो गया. समटाइम्स उनको ड्राइंग भी नहीं समझ में आता है. The drawings are also so complicated. You'll come to know very soon, when you do internship in such companies. Hmm. So the process planner, he should understand the drawing first. Sometimes you don't have, because these are every time you are making new products, so you don't have sample also. Understand? No? You don't have sample to see. So everything is virtual. You have to imagine how the component will be. So it is difficult to analyze also. Children kind of work. Hmm. So you should have knowledge of machine, cutting tools, drawings, capabilities, manufacturing, cost, etc. Hmm. So this is what I was talking about. Sometimes the question is asked that the differentiate between traditional process planning and computer aided process planning. So you can, if it is 4 marks, see that you at least write 4 points properly, and both points should be correct, left hand side and right hand side. If one of the point is wrong, you get 0 marks. You cannot defend that you give me a half mark. No. Hmm. Both the point has to be correct. Both the point has to be valid. Hmm. Then only you get full 1 mark. हम बोलेंगे लेफ्ट हैंड साइड का बराबर है, राइट हैंड साइड का गलत हो गया तो क्या है, इट इज नॉट कॉल्ड एज द डिफरेंशिएशन है. ऐसा नहीं है. So traditional process planning, it is experience based and performed manually. So the judgment will be different. Judgment and experience will be different. It will be based on the experience. Hmm. Then Abhi, what is the problem in most of the industries, that we lack the acute skilled labor. Of course, in India we have, but other countries. That's why there is a flow of skilled labor from India to other countries. Mostly Gulf countries, or even other European countries, because there is a lack of skilled force. So that's why if you see other countries, the emphasis is more on computerization. Because of, एक तो उनके वहाँ पे पॉपुलेशन भी कम है, और वो पॉपुलेशन में उनका लाइफ स्टाइल भी अलग है. दैट इज हैप्पी गो, लकी गो, इजी गो, ऐसा रहता है. So they always have shortfall of acute labor force. That's why they come here. They take interviews. They arrange for your tickets, visas, everything, because hmm, there's a shortage. And this is what the skills which you need to develop, so that you are in the demand, so that the peoples are after you, so that the money is after you. Hmm. And these are the advantages of CAPP, which you can write, in tabular form. Again, I am telling you, differentiation has to be in tabular form. In unit test one, I have seen, many answer sheets. I have given the marks, but they have written, it was not written in tabular form. So see that you don't repeat. uh, the differentiation has to be, whenever it is asked differentiate, it has to be in tabular form. Has to be in tabular form. You cannot write, traditional process planning 1, 2, 3, 4 like a short note type, and then again computerized process planning 1, 2, 3, 4. And not only that, I also noticed that there was no problem, even though you are written like this short note format, the sequence was also not followed. मतलब वहाँ पे ट्रेडिशनल में जो .1 है, that is corresponding to .3 in computer. Then why examiner should take pains, to see, because he has a lot of papers to check. Hmm. So there the examiner lose the interest in going through the answer sheet, and then that reflects throughout the answer paper. So these are the approaches, out of which variant and generative I have already given some idea, isn't it? So what is variant and what is generative? See, the weightage of this lecture is 4 marks. Hmm. So variant process planning is based on the that valid conjecture that similar parts will have similar process plans. So here the Atma is nothing but group technology based part coding. Hmm. So you already have process plans, already ready-made process plans are there. Okay. already. And like police, they already have the history of all criminals, and then they check. So similarly, in variant process plan, hmm, the new drawing or the new inquiry is checked with the existing, and then similar process plans are suggested by the computer. If you are lucky, then you, you can use the same process plan, or you can modify the process plan some dimension, some that is in terms of diameter or in terms of length, and you can give it to the operator. So that is what is your variant process planning is. So here variant process planning is easy. Basically it is easy to build, it is easy to learn, and it is easy to use also. But still some experience is required for editing. uh, Little experience, but it need not be too much experienced or skilled. But of course some where to make the changes or where to make the modifications, that much judgment is required to be taken. uh. So ऐसा नहीं है कि totally it is layman's job. Variant process plan. हम्म. So the editing or it's ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब हम लोग को alterations करना है. हाँ, मॉल से पैंट लेके आया, हम्म, और वो सपोज लंबा हो रहा है. सो वी डोंट डू इट ऑन आवर ओन, वी स्टिल अप्रोचेस अ टेलर, इजंट इट? द टेलर हु डज द ऑल्टरेशंस. खुद तो नहीं करते. So this is your preparatory stage. Like you need to have part coding everywhere. Hmm. Then it is based on the group technology because the family has to be formed. Hmm. Then you have standard plans fixed up in the computer, that is standard process plan. As well as it gives you the individual process plans also. Hmm. So this is what is called the preparatory stage, and this is your production stage. So in production stage you have algorithms for part family search, for finished process plans. All these algorithms either written in C or Java. Hmm. Then some algorithms for retrieving the process plan, and some algorithms for editing the process plan, that is for modification and for changes. So you have some built-in process plan, on the process plan which are fed. Moment you give a fresh drawing, the similar process plan are retrieved, and then they are modified or edited and given to the operators. In generative में generates, you remember the word, generative, it generates. That's why it is called the generative. और पहला कौन सा था? Variant. So generative में it will start from the scratch. So this is little complicated. So lots of database is required. What kind of machines you have, what kind of material handling system you have, all those data आपको देना है. What kind of tools you have, huge libraries, what type of cutting speed feeds that you are going to use. So this is very complicated generative process planning. So you need to have part descriptions, that is coding. And again for coding you have different algorithms. At least there are 8 to 10 algorithms only for the coding, out of which this Optis and OTAP is popular, and out of that Optis is most popular. Optis is used fluently. Then you should have manufacturing databases. You should have logic of manufacturing. Hmm. Then some algorithms for decision making logic. Hmm. Like this and this, again this and this, then this or this, then what is the action to be taken. So this is what is your decision making logic. should be there in your generative process planning. Then automatic process plannings, generally nobody uses. So uh, what you have to focus is only on variant or and generative. So this you can skip, hmm, because automatic process plan may is still into the infancy stage, because all machine vision, artificial intelligence, then augmented realism, all those things has to be developed. So it is more of uh, a computer, more of your software based, more of 80-90% is software and only 10% is manufacturing. So these are some process planning approach. Like you have 2D drafting, then drawing interpretation, and then it goes to the NC control. Then mm, here you are preparing your programs manually. Here it is automatic. Mm. Then in 3D also you have some canned cycles. Again, this slide is not important. Mm. Then again you have 3D solid model and you can extract dies and punches, um, and you can get the ready-made programs. This is helpful for your mold making. And this is your FBP, that is feature-based modeling. Feature-based modeling is nothing but your uh, that is your drilling cycles, boring cycles, pocket milling cycles, and so on. So um, for this, again, you don't. If you want to learn in detail, yes, you can. Otherwise, you can get in PN RAW this computer aided process planning and traditional process planning, hmm, generative and generative process planning and variant. Remember, variant process plan is also called as the retrieval process plan. So remember, if it is a retrieval, uh, it is variant. So that you have to remember. Then again, FMS is important from short note point of view. 4 to 5 marks. 4 to 5 marks. Only in question number one and question number six. Previously, before revision, you used to ask it for 10 marks. Question number 2, 3, 4, 5 may. But now this goes either to question number one or question number six, because the syllabus is so vast. So it it cannot be asked for the 10 marks, because there are lot many things to ask, because you have CAD as well as you have FE also, finite element analysis also. Hmm. So that's why. But yes, one question again, a repetitive question on FMS. Hmm. Describe the characteristics of FMS, or what is FMS? Explain. Hmm. So FMS stands for the flexible manufacturing system. That is, your manufacturing system should be flexible enough to cater all kinds of orders. It should not be rigid. It should not be hardwired. So flexible manufacturing system is also called as the software manufacturing system. And student 100% get confused if it is asked what is soft-wired manufacturing system or what is hardwired manufacturing system. Hardwired means it is dedicated for one particular product or for one particular model. Software means it is flexible. It can be changed like software. You know, we can change the software. We can as per the program. So same flexible manufacturing system means you should be able to manufacture various different models, models, diesel engines, model with petrol engines, model with CNG, blue color, red color, silver color. mm, All, if you visit, paint shop of MNCs, Volkswagen or Mercedes, you can see on one assembly line itself, 10 red vehicles, 10 blue color ka vehicles, 10 silver on the same line. Earlier, when it was not FMS, when it was hardware, just to change the color, एक ब्लू कलर का लगाया प्रोडक्शन, then they will say अभी blue color का it will run for at least for a week or at least for the 15 days. Silver color is our next month plan. So like that it was. But now the scene is changed. It is flexible manufacturing. You can't say like that. Otherwise, you are going to lose the customers because of the competition and because of the globalization. Hmm. So FMS में it is so how so what are the components of FMS? That is again, the questions will be asked, like this, twisted. So you should understand, you should understand properly and write it because the answers are simple. Only the questions you should, it may not be straightforward. You know. So like what are the different ways to improve the productivity? Hmm. So there you can say FMS or you can CNC or automatic tool changer or automatic product changer, automations, PLCs. All these answers are expected. So flexible manufacturing system, it is a production system which consists of a set of identical hmm, and complementary numerical. So basically, it consists of CNCs, robots, automated material handling system, and so on. FMS, flexible manufacturing system. So what are the primary equipments? FMS में you have work centers. Work centers is nothing but machines, machines. So you have in work centers you have basically CNC machines. So you have CNC machining centers. It is also called as a prismatics flexible machining system. Prismatic means rectangular. Hmm. And machining centers are used for rectangular components, whereas turning centers are used for rotational, for the round components. Turning center. Turning center is not a turn mill. Turn mill is a different. Turning center means only turning without any milling. And you have grinding machines also computerized. CNC cylindrical grinding, CNC tool and cutter grinder, CNC surface grinder, and nibbling machine. Nibbling machine is a kind of a press where you go on nibble. So it's again a CNC. So what is the advantage of nibbling machine? Like suppose if you want to like press operations, a bit idea you have press operations. So in press में you क्या रहता है आपको पंच एंड डाई जो शेप का अपने को करना है शीट पर यूजुअली प्रेस ऑपरेशंस आर डन ऑन द शीट मेटल्स so sheet metal may suppose a round hole is there or a square hole is there or suppose a elliptical hole or a triangular hole is there, then you should have triangular shape ka punch and triangular shape ka die or cavity. Sometimes if you have odd shape, like a heart shape ka hole karna hai low, huh? So and you for that you don't have a standard punch, isn't it? You'll have to order the punch, आपको punch बनाना पड़ेगा. So आपको कैविटी भी बनाना पड़ेगा. So instead of that you can go for the nibbling में it is exactly like your CNC milling, how the CNC milling cuts. So same way press में nibble होएगा like a rat. चूहा जो खाता है ना he nibbles. So same thing you do the nibbling like a CNC milling, it will do the pressing operation. मतलब छोटा आप राउंड पंच लेने का एक 5 mm का सिलेंड्रिकल पंच एंड इट विल कट द बाउंड्री टक 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 करके वो आपका हार्ट शेप है वो कट हो जाएगा. So that is what is called as the nibbling machine. We'll continue in the next lecture. You can take your break. You can enjoy your break now. It's 11 o'clock. Thank you so much.